What's going on, Jerome's messy garage raw real rant going on now, and I understand. Like, it's very easy to have a lot of pessimism about the Vikings because just given our history, just given the nature of the national media, Jerome haircuts always putting their thumb down on the scale against the Vikings. But even though there's a lot of question marks this offseason, I'm feeling good. Make me feel good about the Vikings offseason prospects because the Jefferson thing is the linchpin. Well, first off, getting your quarterback of the future. I mean, that's number one. But the crux of the offseason is getting Justin friggin' Jefferson under contract long term, right? And it seems like it's just a matter of time, where it's a deadline-driven league. Sure. Do I think something gets done before the start of the season? Yes. And I think that the number is going to surprise people because with the cap going up and up and up, I do think that CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra and Jamar Chase, all eligible for extensions, does factor in. But I think at the end of the day, JJ will be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, both in terms of average as well as total guarantee, and he absolutely deserves it, right? And for quarterback, so I feel like the Vikings' stance with Kirk is, we will give you this number of years, either one or two. We will give you this number of dollars, 35, 30, 40, and this amount of guaranteed, and this amount of guaranteed years. Take it or leave it. And even though the reports do say that the Falcons could be in on Kirk Cousins and he could get some offers larger than people expect, namely because of the cap going up, I'm not really buying it. Like, I know that all it takes is one team, but for the reasons why the Vikings aren't throwing Lulu money at Kirk Cousins, it's the reason why some other teams may have cause for pause. But even if Kirk leaves, I think the Vikings are in fantastic shape to find the quarterback of the future. And I understand, well, if they would have lost a couple more games, they would have had a higher pick. No, didn't happen, so it is what it is. Also, I mean, the Vikings lost like 5 out of the last 6 or 6 out of the last 7. So, I mean, you should be kind of happy because, I mean, they didn't tank, lose on purpose. They just lost even though they were trying to win. Just because that's how it works out sometimes. But the Vikings have been doing their due diligence. Reportedly, that they've met with the big 6. Well, it's really a big 4 plus 2, right? So of the quarterback. So they met with Caleb Williams. Probably not going to get him. Probably going to Chicago at 1. They met with Drake May, Jaden Daniels, largely seen as the number 2 and number 3 pick in some order. JJ McCarthy potentially could work his way into the top 10. I think him throwing this weekend is going to be huge, even if his hamstring is a little dinged up. Penix, I think Penix has a chance to really blow up the combine because that arm is legit, man. And he's going to look really damn good without Michigan defenders chasing after him. So I think that he could be the stud of the combine because people forget how good Penix was all season, and especially that Texas game because of what happened in the Natty. Here's what it is. They also reportedly met with Bo Nix, both at the Combine and Senior Bowl. So they're doing their diligence, and they will find their quarterback of the future. Plus, I do believe that, I do declare that the Vikings, it feels like they're loading up. And of course, all the talk that they were interested in trading up last year from 23 is a little bit different. Coming up from 11, a little bit more of a short putt. And I think the Vikings are going to maneuver. Like, it's been years since the Vikings traded up in the draft, but I think it would be the year to go do it. Whether they fall in love with Drake May, who, yes, played in high school under new quarterbacks coach Josh McCown. And also you look at Jaden Daniels, a Skull SU connection. You look at JJ McCarthy, who reportedly had great meetings with O'Connell and McCown and whatnot. He named JJ as the number 1 guy that he would want to throw to. So I think it's an exciting time. Plus, they could do all of this even if they do re-sign Kirk Cousins, because if they re-sign Kirk, I have extreme doubts that there will be guaranteed money past 1 year. I just don't think the Vikings want to do that. It's like last offseason, the Vikings want to do another 1-year Band-Aid deal. Kirk wanted a multi-year deal. That's where it stood. I don't think things have changed, except Kirk's gotten a year older and also a popped Achilles, right? So no matter what happens, I think the Vikings are going to come away from this offseason with their quarterback of the future. And that's what's beautiful, man, because hope springs eternal, and also having your dude. Plus, say Kirk's back for a year. Whatever. Having your starting quarterback on his rookie deal is the greatest competitive advantage right now in the NFL. And you can spend up in free agency, keep your studs. You can go out and sign guys in open free agency. I think the Vikings make a big play for guys like Justin Matabuke, maybe Jalen Johnson, or L'Jarius Sneed if they do hit the open market. Although Sneed's probably going to be tagged and traded, so screw him. we'll go in on Sean Murphy bunting. But it's exciting time to be alive, man. It's good. Plus, it's basically spring now, March 1st, birds are chirping and stuff, and things are good. I mean, things are good. And I like that the Vikings, they have all the options in the world. They could trade up for their quarterback in the top 3. They could maneuver a little bit. Probably J.J. McCarthy is going to go top 10. But also, if, say, Kirk signs with the Falcons, that takes them out of the running for a quarterback in all likelihood. So maybe J.J. falls to 11. Who knows? They could stick and pick. They could maybe Penix gets to the second round. Same thing with Bo Nix. Same thing with Spencer Rattler. Same thing with Michael Pratt. So they could have their options if they decide to go a different direction in round 1 to go find their guy at the top of round 2, or maybe even the back end of the first round. But either way, I would be willing to bet a significant amount of money the Vikings draft a quarterback in round 1 or 2, and it's a new day, new dawn here with the Minnesota Vikings. And all this talk about competitive rebuild really is rounding into form now, especially if Daniil leaves, especially if Harrison retires or is cut. That's basically the old guard washed out, and now new guys are taking over. And hopefully Kwesi's going to start hitting on some draft picks, especially in the trenches, because that's where the games are won and lost. And yeah, quarterback is fun, receivers are fun, corners are fun. It's fantastic. But get back to meat and potatoes on the inside. Find your quarterback of the future. And other than that, we have no demands for this offseason. That's it. But your thoughts are thoughts. Raw, real garage rant. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull, no production value.